This is a small dressing room, and a lot of people think that just because a space is small, they can't necessarily break it up into various zones. But it's actually quite the opposite, especially for me. I find that when I break a space up into smaller units that really correspond to how the end user is going to utilize the space, it almost expands the room because you're injecting circulatory reasons for various colors for being there, various pieces of furniture for being there, and you're also incorporating functionality. In this room, we've got the public area, which has a sort of hangout theme, and the private area, which is where I am right now, which is obviously the makeup table and the dressing room and things like that. And not only are they separated by color scheme, but even by a curtain, because sometimes you just got to be really blatant about this kind of stuff. One of the design features I was going for here is something I was calling accumulated eclecticism. And the reason for that is because Carrie told me she needed a space that felt like she could live there and has lived there. And for me, that says, you know, this can't be a minimalist space. It needs to be a space where it feels like there's a life in here, that there's someone who's devoted herself to creating the space. The point was, when she arrived, it didn't feel like a sterile space. So for me, accumulated eclecticism meant finding objets and small decorative elements that were all different from one another, but that could all have been picked by the same person over a period of time. It was a little bit of guesswork. The first thing I told her when I walked through the space with her was that she should feel free to remove anything and replace it with anything else. And she's actually done a fair amount of that. She's kept a lot of the things that I put in here, but she's also brought in her own personal elements, and I think it's a testament to the success of this design that everything she's brought in fits in perfectly.